Influences from around the world, Louis Comfort Tiffany, the interior decorator. In November of 1879, the newspaper, the Brooklyn Daily Eagle, wrote,
Louis C. Tiffany, who was just beginning to take high rank as a colorist, has turned his attention of late to decorative art, and he now has on hand several commissions for making interior designs for dwellings, including the furniture and hangings of each room. There are first-class artists in London who take this sort of thing up very extensively, but Tiffany is the first American artist of any standing that has ventured to devote any considerable time to purely decorative art.
What did this mean? Well, in plain words, it meant that Tiffany, then best known as a painter, was taking another step on his lifelong quest of beauty. He was embracing what was known as the aesthetic movement, or a widely accepted conviction that art, whether decorative or fine, had a place in every home. The idea of household beauty through interior design did not originate with Tiffany, but Tiffany enthusiastically took on the challenges of this new media. And, in true Tiffany style, he strove to create dynamic, creative, and memorable interiors that would be talked about and remembered for years to come. Some of Tiffany's best-known and fondly remembered interiors were, of course, those he did for his Long Island estate, Laurelton Hall, a house that had 84 interior rooms. We don't have pictures of all the rooms, but we know from the pictures that we do have that Tiffany drew his inspirations from all over the world. Sometimes, as with the Japanese room and the Chinese room, a single theme would encompass an interior. Other times, Tiffany used a variety of ideas. The reception hall, for example, had hand-stenciled wall panels reminiscent of Topkapi Palace in Istanbul on the walls. The fountain at the center of the room had a tall, pear-shaped vase that resembled a type of Indian flask known as sarahis. And on the east wall were tiered shelves similar in style to the merkanas of Islamic architecture. In the porte cochere, a separate covered entrance for those arriving at Laurelton Hall by car or by carriage also channeled Islamic architecture with its stylized decorative tiles. Prior to moving to Laurelton Hall, Tiffany and his family lived in two places in New York City. One of the residences was a house at 72nd Street, also known as the most artistic house in New York City. Black and white images from the period show that the interior of the house was similar to Laurelton Hall in that it had multiple decorative influences. These images also show some of the objects Tiffany obtained through his short partnership and ongoing friendship with Lockwood de Forest, another designer who promoted and imported the decorative art of India. The carved teakwood doors, now on view in the museum, marked the entrance to Tiffany's 72nd Street art studio and were imported by Tiffany and de Forest decorators. The bronze chains of the other room's gallery, at least one of which supported a hanging chase. The other Tiffany residence was the Bella Apartments on 26th and Madison Avenue. A room of note was the dining room, described in 1882 by George William Sheldon as having a variety of Eastern influences, but still maintaining a unity that binds everything into an ensemble. The Bella Apartments dining room also successfully combined decorative and fine art into a unified interior. On the fireplace mantel were examples of Japanese ceramics and Chinese blue and white porcelain, similar to this recently acquired piece in the Morse collection. And on the wall above the fireplace was a still life by Tiffany depicting a very New England and fall-like scene with the figure of a turkey, a pumpkin, and other autumn vegetables. While the Bella painting was American in subject, it was Japanese in composition, again highlighting Tiffany's use of multiple influences in his own art as well as his interiors. It also reminds us that while Tiffany looked to the East for inspiration, he also recognized, acknowledged, and embraced Western styles. To use an example outside the museum, but just down the street, the Ponce de Leon Hotel, now Flagler College, still retains some of the elements of Tiffany designed for the interior, including the Renaissance-style ceiling of the grand parlor and the geometric and filigree windows of the dining hall. Now it's your turn. How would you decorate the inside of a house? Stop by the museum for some inspiration, and then download a blank template and grab a sketchbook and start designing your own room. Use your imagination, images from magazines, and any inspiration you picked up from walking through the museum galleries. Happy planning, have a great summer, and we hope to see you soon.